Next property, brittleness. A substance is said to be brittle if it breaks into pieces easily. In activity number 2, you hammered the iron nail, copper wire, aluminum wire. Did they break on hammering? They will not break, and they made it in the form of a flat thing. What about the pieces of coal, pencil lead? They break. Did they break on hammering? Yes, they break. We can say that metals are not brittle, whereas non-metals are generally brittle. Non-metals break into pieces on hammering. Now, there is 2-3 points important. Potassium and sodium are metals, but they are so soft they can easily be cut with a knife. Diamond is the only non-metal which is hard. Diamond is in fact the hardest known substance. Next is hardness. Metals are generally hard, whereas non-metals are generally soft. Let us do an activity. That means in order to show the hardness and softness, we can do an activity. Activity number 6. To find whether the metals are hard or soft. Procedure. Try to cut a piece of copper wire with the help of a pair of pliers. Can you cut it very easily, or is it hard to cut? It is very hard to cut a copper wire. Also try to cut aluminum wire and an iron nail. Both are very hard. If you try to cut aluminum, it is very hard. If you try to cut iron, also very hard. Do you find metal soft or hard? Metals are very hard by means of this experiment. Observation and conclusion. Iron nail, the wires of copper and aluminum are hard to cut. This shows that metals are hard. Next is physical state. Metals are generally found to be in solid state at room temperature, whereas non-metals are generally found in solid or gaseous state. Mercury is the only metal that is the liquid at room temperature. One of the most important point, you have to make a note. That means match the following or name the following or fill in the blank question can be asked. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature, whereas bromine is the only non-metal that is liquid at room temperature. Therefore, these two things that you should know. Mercury is the only metal. Mercury is a metal. Therefore, mercury is the only metal which is in the liquid state. Whereas bromine, which is a non-metal, name the following question can be asked. Bromine, which is a non-metal, and that is also the liquid form. Therefore, physical states of some metals and non-metals are given in this table. You have to study this table because it says that sodium in the solid form, calcium in the solid form, magnesium solid form, aluminum it is solid, copper solid, iron solid, whereas mercury it is in the liquid form at room temperature. Gold is solid. Bromine it is a non-metal and it is in the liquid form. Oxygen is a non-metal. It is in the gaseous form. Nitrogen is a non-metal. It is a gaseous form or it is a gas. Iodine is a non-metal. It is in the solid form. Chlorine is a non-metal. It is in the gas form or gaseous form. Sulfur is a non-metal. That is in the solid form. Carbon, non-metal, it is a solid form. Hydrogen, non-metal, it is in the gaseous form. Therefore, look at that. All the metals of that except mercury, all are solid. Whereas in the non-metal, there is solids are there, liquids are there, and gases are there. Therefore, you have to draw this table in your notebook and write and study this.